All right, let's dive into this stack of info you sent over about CME Group. Earnings calls, financial reports, even their annual report from way back in 2020. Looks like someone wants to understand this financial giant, huh?
Well, it's a smart move to be curious about CME Group. Might not be a household name exactly, but their reach goes way beyond just Wall Street.
Yeah, it's not like they're releasing the next hot smartphone everyone's going to line up for.
Yeah.
So how does the average person even interact with this CME Group?
Think about it this way. Every time you glance at your retirement account, look at your mortgage rates, even buy a loaf of bread, you're indirectly feeling the impact of CME Group. They're the ones working behind the scenes, managing the risks and the, what do you call them, the opportunities of the global economy.
Okay, now you've got me intrigued, but still a little fuzzy on the specifics. What is CME Group in the most basic terms?
Basically, they're the world's largest financial derivatives exchange. They give everyone a marketplace for managing risk and all that volatility and things like interest rates, currencies, commodities, all that. And we're not talking chump change here, it's trillions with the T of dollars and contracts being traded every single day on their exchanges.
Trillions. Whoa. Okay, that definitely paints a picture. No wonder their earnings reports sound like one big victory lap, right?
Yep.
Over $1.4 billion in revenue in just the fourth quarter of 2023 alone. And they've had double-digit earnings growth for 10 quarters in a row. Someone over there is making some really good decisions.
100%. But it's not just luck. CME Group is riding this wave of, broader trends happening in financial markets. Take the ups and downs we've seen with interest rates and commodity prices. That volatility makes businesses nervous. So they turn to companies like CME Group to, to hedge their bets, basically.
So the more uncertain things get, the better it is for CME Group.
In a way, yeah, you could say that. And it's not just the big players either. There's this whole new wave of investors and institutions flooding into the derivatives market, hedge funds, asset managers, even data centers looking to, lock in energy costs and stuff like that. They all end up turning to CME Group for their risk management.
Speaking of good decisions, one thing that jumped out at me from these earnings calls was CME Group going all in on cloud computing with Google. That's like a huge tech project. So is this just about keeping up appearances, or is there something more here for us regular investors?
Oh, it's way more than just appearances, trust me. This cloud move, it's strategic, really strategic. Think about it, right? As more and more players jump into the market and trading volumes go through the roof, CME Group's platform, it has to handle all that pressure perfectly. You remember that crazy trading volume we saw back in January 24? That's exactly what they're preparing for. Moving to the cloud means they can scale up their operations really easily, no problem. Smoother, faster trades, even when the market's going crazy.
Okay, I get the whole handling huge trading volume thing,
Yeah.
but how does that actually help individual investors like me? Connect the dots for me here.
Reliability and innovation, those are the keys. Ever tried to make a trade and your online brokerage is down? Ugh, the worst. And those outages, they can cost you serious money. Cloud computing, it's all about being resilient, fewer crashes, way less downtime. More peace of mind because you can access your investments and make trades whenever you need to, not just when the system feels like it.
Yeah, no more frantically refreshing my browser hoping the market hasn't gone completely south on me. You can get behind that.
Exactly. And it gets even better. This whole cloud thing, it's not just about keeping things running the way they are. It's about opening up a whole bunch of new possibilities. Think about it. New products, new services, all launching way faster. We're talking seriously powerful risk management tools, better ways to analyze data so you can make smarter investment choices, even entirely new markets opening up.
Now that's exciting. It's not just keeping the lights on. It's CME Group putting themselves right on the cutting edge,
Right.
leading the pack, not just keeping up. Hold on, didn't I see something about some hiccups with this whole cloud migration? Didn't they say there were some challenges in one of the earnings calls?
You've been doing your research, haven't you? And yeah, you're right. It hasn't been totally smooth sailing. Anytime you try to do something this big, this complex, there are going to be some bumps in the road, especially in finance where everything moves so fast. They did hit some snags, especially getting everyone on board with the new tech. You know how it is.
Yeah, old habits die hard and all that. Makes sense. Especially with something as critical as financial systems.
Totally. But the big takeaway here is that CME Group is serious about this, really serious. They're putting their money where their mouth is. Remember we talked about that new facility they built specifically for CME. This isn't just some side project. It's a major priority. And that tells us a lot about their vision for the future of the industry. They're not just reacting, they're shaping the future.
It's like they're saying, look, everyone else is just going along for the ride, but we're the ones steering the ship. But let's be real, the sea of finance is getting pretty crowded. Which brings us to another big theme from all this research you sent over, competition. That Q4 2023 earnings call, they spent a bunch of time talking about these new zero-day to expiry options, the zero DTEs. They seem to be adapting, even talked about being the global leader in non-US trading hours, but how big of a deal is this zero DTE trend? And how is it different from the regular options trading we hear about all the time? So zero DTE options, huh? Sounds kind of intense. What's the deal with these things? Why is everyone making such a big fuss?
Okay, so picture this. You're trading options, right? But instead of holding on to a contract for weeks, months even, you're in and out, all in a single day. Sometimes even faster. That's zero DTE.
Wow, so it's like the financial equivalent of, I don't know, those super high-speed traders we always hear about. But do these zero DTE traders, are they really CME Group's target audience? Seems like a different ballgame.
It's a good question. It's a bit of a mixed bag, really. See, on the one hand, all these new options, they bring in tons of new trading volume, which is great for CME Group, but then they've got to make sure their platform can actually handle all that lightning fast trading, makes those investments in cloud tech we were talking about even more important, right?
A double-edged sword then, eh?
Yeah.
Big potential, but also some big challenges. But these zero DTE options, that's not the only thing on their radar, is it? We got to talk about FMX. This new competitor, they popped up in that Q2 2024 call. And yeah, CME Group didn't seem too worried. But I got to ask, you think they're underestimating them? Or is this just healthy competition?
Underestimating your opponent is never a good strategy. Especially in the financial world, things can change so quickly. I'd say FMX is definitely a company to keep an eye on. They're tapping into a real shift in the market, this whole idea of capital efficiency, you know?
Capital efficiency, right. We've heard that term a few times, and it's obviously important, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure I understand what it actually means in practice.
I get it. It sounds kind of jargony, but it's actually pretty simple. It's all about doing more with less. Think about it. Interest rates are going up, right? So investors, they want to get the absolute most out of every dollar they invest. Tying up huge amounts of money in margin requirements, that's just not going to cut it anymore. They need flexibility, and they need it now.
So are these companies like FMX, are they just responding directly to that need for like leaner, more efficient ways to work with capital?
Exactly. But here's the thing. CME Group, they've been around for a while, right? They've seen competitors come and go. What makes this time different, what makes FMX different, is that there are a bunch of factors all coming together at once. You've got this huge demand for capital efficiency, and then you've got these lightning-fast advancements in technology all happening at the same time. Remember those barriers to entry we talked about? The things that made it difficult to compete with someone like CME Group? Those barriers, they're disappearing, thanks to things like cloud computing. It's not just about who has the most money anymore. It's about who can innovate the fastest, who can offer the best, most efficient solutions.
The game's changing right in front of our eyes. And CME Group, as successful as they've been, they can't afford to just sit back and relax. They need to keep moving, keep innovating, or risk getting left behind.
Absolutely, and that's what makes these deep dives so interesting. You know, we're not just looking at some company's balance sheet. We're seeing a pivotal moment in the evolution of finance. Will CME Group step up? Will they hold on to their position? Or will these newcomers like FMX come in and completely rewrite the rules? It's a multi-trillion-dollar question, and I, for one, can't wait to see how it all plays out.
Me neither. It's going to be a fascinating ride for sure.
Okay.
So to everyone listening, if you have even a tiny bit of interest in the future of, well, everything, keep an eye on CME Group. Their story's far from over, and what they do next, well, let's just say it'll have a ripple effect on all of us. This stuff matters, even if we don't always see it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Stay informed, stay engaged, and never stop asking questions. That's what it's all about.